This is a Kickstarter backer update.
Hi, everybody. This is our first live stream. We're testing this out, so please bear with us as we sort of attempt to figure out how this all works. We're doing this in preparation for the final day of our Kickstarter, which is going to be a week from yesterday, really, Sunday of this weekend. And so we wanted to come on and try to do our Kickstarter update in this format as a test and see how it goes. And we are getting some chats in. See if we can see what they are saying here.
See that on?
I can see it in. Look at that. I'm seeing it here in Riverside.
Yeah.
Hi, Redhead of Adventure and Ken. Thank you guys so much. So if you've been following along the Kickstarter the last few days, we were sort of going to slowly add some add-ons, and I think we didn't realize how quickly some of them would go. So our apologies there. I think if we had known that, we would have maybe done a little more of a bombastic rollout of some of these things. But Peter, why don't you still tell everybody what some of the add-ons are that we've done, which ones are gone, and which ones are still available?
Yeah, absolutely. As Daniel said, we pulled out some autographed add-ons that we were very excited about. The first ones we announced were Joel McNeely, composer for Young Indy, Radioland Murders, and Shadows of the Empire. Very kindly agreed to sign a few items for us when we eventually do interview him for the documentary. And so we added some tiers of Shadows of the Empire CD and vinyl, as well as some Young Indiana Jones soundtracks that he will sign, ship to you when we fulfill our order for you guys. So that was really exciting, very, very gratifying. And then, we pursued Gavin Bocquet, production designer on Young Indiana Jones, Radioland Murders, Star Wars Prequels. He also has very kindly agreed to sign some posters for us when we eventually go over and interview him. And then the big one that a lot of people were excited about was Burtt, legendary sound engineer, and he did just about everything on Young Indiana Jones, but also just legend in the industry in his own right. Very kindly agreed to sign a small number of items when we go up and visit him here in early December. So that was very exciting. We announced that yesterday that we had 5 posters as well as 5 VHS tapes. And the VHS tapes sold out in almost 3 hours. It was very, very quick and very, very exciting to see that. And then we still have a couple of posters available on the Kickstarter campaign, but you can go pick up now. And we're going to be announcing a couple of other autograph tiers here shortly, within a couple of hours, that we are very excited to talk about. I guess we could talk about them here now. I mean, they won't go live for a little bit, but we're going to talk about them here now. We've decided, it looks like there was a big appetite for these VHS tapes, which was very cool to see. So we're going to be rolling out some additional autographed VHS tapes signed by people like Matthew Jacobs, screenwriter on Young Indiana Jones, Gavin Bocquet, production designer again, and Joel McNeely, as well as the already announced Burtt ones. Unfortunately, they're gone. But we were really, really gratified that everyone was so excited about that. And so we're hoping to keep that party going there. And then the biggest add-on that we're going to announce later today as well is a kind of a ultimate autograph option. So this is we're going to have a DVD set of Young Indiana Jones, and this will be signed by the aforementioned people that we've just talked about. But also the idea there with this set is it's going to be signed by everyone who is willing to sign it that we interview on this campaign. The exact names are still being decided, still being figured out. But needless to say, this DVD set will be right by our side as we go out to every single one of our interviews. And our hope is to get as many autographs as we can on this collection. So this will be volume 3 of Young Indiana Jones, DVD set, great cover, great inside, a lot of great episodes in there. And going to be truly a one-of-a-kind collectible. I say one-of-a-kind, that we're going to have a few of them available for purchase. But needless to say, this will be an incredibly rare and unique opportunity to have a true, wonderful piece of Young Indiana Jones and Lucasfilm history. So please check that out when we launch them. Probably launch them here in a couple of hours, but will be available very soon.
I was saying most of these people don't go to conventions. They don't really sign things. And in particular, Young Indiana Jones, so rare. I'm really excited to see Ben's face when we tell him people have asked him to sign Attack of the Hawkmen tapes. I feel like that will have real meaning for him, as it was his sort of feature directorial debut. And so these are really, really unique. And, we're not really doing any of these things in tremendous amounts, because it is a special thing. It's a limited thing. And we want to keep it very special for fans, for you, and for the people signing them as well. And so we're really excited, again, that there's been such a reception. And I can only imagine that Joel and Ben and everyone will be very touched to know that you want these things. I think they're going to find that very encouraging. Peter, this is our last week of the Kickstarter. We've crossed 37,000, which means we're very close to 40,000. I think it is well within sight, which is our tier at which everyone will get a copy of the soundtrack, which will include Joel's theme. Personally, I think we might even be able to go a little higher as this last week goes, and we have these great add-ons. But again, if you're watching it either live or later, this is really the moment to share with those friends and with people. And if you've been watching the campaign and waiting, now is the time. There are, payment plan installment things. Don't feel like you pledge now and you have to pay all at once. That's not really how it works. So this is a great time to jump on while all the tiers are there. We'll have some late pledges, but not necessarily everything. And every version of the tier and every combination will be available. So if there's something you want, really specific, I really recommend kind of grabbing it now as we can. Especially, I will say, these add-ons. We can't guarantee anything once the Kickstarter closes. Absolutely. So it's really critical this last time. And take a look at some of these items. Peter mentioned posters. We're getting Attack of the Clones posters that Ben Burtt is willing to sign. This is the film that he edited. He's the sole credited editor on that film, in addition doing all the sound work. And even though he's not credited as a second unit director, I do think with his animatics and kind of a very similar way in which he did things for Young Indy, where they would pre-visualize sequences. In many ways, he is sort of a second unit director on the film as well. And so, his hands and his fingerprints are really all over it. And it's a handmade film in so many ways between him and George and Rick and Gavin and these people. John Knoll. So it's a really special thing. And so I encourage you, if you have the space for a poster on the wall, this could be a really special thing to add to your collection. And we're very excited about it. But Peter, we've come so far and we've received such support. And I think maybe more than we dared hope for. What are your feelings now as we sort of come to the end of this campaign? How are you feeling about this movie?
It's honestly, I couldn't be more excited about it. I've said it before, but when we started this campaign, we weren't sure if we would even make the minimum goal. It was a lot of unknowns going into it. And yet the outpouring of support, the outpouring of encouragement on part of it, not just the community, but also the people who were involved with Young Indy and other Lucasfilm projects. It's been really heartwarming, really, really supportive. And, thank you for all the people that have reached out, especially podcasters and, other news outlets who've reached out with either words of support or, wanting to Force Ghost guy had us on. It was really lovely. Inglorious Trexperts has talked us up a few times on their show, and thanks to Mark and the team over there as well. But it's just really encouraging, and it's kind of, it's exciting because now it's like, okay, we're going to really dig into this. It's like we have the funding to actually start planning our production in the UK, production on the East Coast, production in other parts of the world, where we're going to be able to really bring this documentary to life. I'm a fan, first and foremost. Like I'm excited just to have the poster on the wall that we will eventually make for the documentary.
Yeah.
And thanks again, Paul Shipper. Just
of course.
My God, he's just such a legend in the industry, and I've been such a fan of his for years, and him just willing to hop on the project. Truly, just it couldn't be better. Joel McNeely doing our theme song, my God. The stuff that, we couldn't have dreamed of when we were growing up and just playing Shadows of the Empire on our N64. And now we're going to be working with some of these legends ourselves on this documentary. It's really wonderful. Yeah, it's great.
No, and guys, just to let you all know, because of the support we received, obviously we're going to see Ben in December, as we've announced, and we had to get some equipment, to do that. We were fortunate to have support here in Los Angeles for the shoots that we've done, but we always knew that when it came time to leave town, we'd have to sort of get our own equipment. And thanks to you and your support, we've been able to do that. I actually put the kit together this morning. It's beautiful. It's got a case. It's got 2 cameras, the same kind of cameras that we've been shooting with. So there will be a really consistent look for the film. And this is only possible because of your support. This is not the kind of thing that we would have been able to buy on our own for the podcast. That would have very much out of reach. So we're really grateful to you. And in so many ways for me, with this trip coming up and this equipment, it just makes the film production feel so much almost more real than it has felt. And we're really excited to see where this takes us. And it's all thanks to your support.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Peter, do we have any? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to follow up there, talking a bit about our upcoming live stream. We're currently live on YouTube, but this was always, as Daniel said at the beginning, this was kind of a test run. We're planning to do a live stream event on November 30th. It's kind of a final day celebration. Our Kickstarter officially ends at, I believe, 8:50 or something like that on Monday
Monday.
morning. Monday morning. So a lot of people, will be viewing we're viewing it, and a lot of people might view the 30th as kind of the final day for the campaign. So our plan is to do a live stream event on November 30th, where we're going to be talking about the campaign. We're going to be watching a few episodes of Young Indy, doing a few live commentaries for it. Stay tuned for some announcements of some special guests, and we're going to have some people drop in just to say hi. And if you, a fan, are out there watching and listening, and you'd like to hop on or at least drop us a line, you're welcome as well. So we'll be taking some live calls as well, and really just trying to have a big celebration of the end of the campaign and promote that which is coming in the future. So it'll be November 30th. That's Sunday, Thanksgiving weekend. And, stay tuned for more exact times, but we're definitely going to try to be on for a little while and also talk about be on in a way that we're going to be recording, or we'll be doing the live stream in a way that is amenable to people on the East Coast as well as on the West Coast. And we'll be on for a little while. So hopefully you'll stay tuned soon. We'll have a exact time. Sure.
Yeah, we'll post. Keep your eye on the Instagram. We'll do some updates there as far as times and when. Enjoy your holiday this weekend with family, friends, and those you hold close. But don't forget to tell them about the podcast. Listen to the podcast on your travel this week. We're actually dropping, as we said last week, but we didn't say when. We spoke with Gavin Bocquet last week, and in order to sort of celebrate the Kickstarter, we're actually going to get that episode out a week early. So it'll be out this week over the Thanksgiving holiday. It's a great episode. Really, new anecdotes and a real peek into, what Gavin's doing now and what it was like for him, when he was starting out and working on Young Indy and working with Stuart Craig, the great Harry Potter production designer. So check that out. Share it with your family and friends. Share the Kickstarter with your family and friends. It's Black Friday. There won't be a Black Friday discount on the Kickstarter, but you can still celebrate Black Friday by sharing the Kickstarter with family and friends. So I feel pretty good. Peter, how you feeling?
Absolutely. I feel great. It's exciting times. This will be a week long, remembered. And stay tuned for more news, and look forward to chatting with you guys again on the 30th. So
yeah, thanks everyone who's in the chat, and we'll have some sort of call-in function. Please come call in during our day-long live stream.
Absolutely. All right, take care, guys, and keep on adventuring.